everyone, it's Hayes, and today we are going to be looking back through the trailer we got for Wishmaker, which is episode 18 of Miraculous Ladybug season 4, and adding in all of the other screenshots that got released for it to try and work out what will happen in the episode and make some theories. To re-jog your memory, let's look back at the synopsis. A supervillain comes to Paris and interrupts Marinette's attempts to think about her future as the villain transforms people's childhood dreams into nightmares. With that in mind, I think the episode starts here with Marinette in her room. Since the Kwamis are involved, I would assume this is Marinette thinking about her future as the Guardian. It could definitely mean thinking about her future as in being a fashion designer if she'll go to university, but I don't really see why the Kwamis would argue about that. Maybe Marinette mentions giving up being the Guardian one day, and the Kwamis don't want her to, but Tiki defends Marinette's thinking. Although I don't want her to give up being the Guardian either, because she'd forget everything, and that would quite literally break me as a person. However, it's not clear what happens next, but we do see Adrien arrive at this place for what appears to be a careers event, judging by the banner, so it's possible they're there for school that day. However, the only other classmate of Adrien's we see in the trailer is Marinette, who is there with Luca, who to our knowledge doesn't even go to DuPont, so maybe they're not there for school. The only reason I'm saying this is because Luca has his violin. It is a bit odd for Luca to just show up at a careers event with his violin. So my current theories on this event right now are either it's a school trip thing, we just haven't seen the other classmates yet. I mean, Adrien is holding his school bag and his bodyguard isn't with him, so that would make sense. And maybe Luca really does go to DuPont and is also attending the event. Or it could be Adrien is attending the event alone, it has nothing to do with school, and Marinette and Luca are nearby on Swan Island. The lights in the background when they have the ice cream doesn't particularly look like a careers event, and it doesn't really match the building. The building looks like it's made out of stone, whereas where they are everything looks like it's made out of wood, so it kind of looks like a festival or something like that. Also, Swan Island is more narrow than a cruise ship, so I'm not sure if there are any buildings on it, and the Wikipedia entry for the island notes it as uninhabited. So perhaps Marinette and Luca are on Swan Island attending whatever this is, and Adrien is nearby attending this event and comes across to Swan Island afterwards. Or, final theory on this, which explains why we haven't seen the rest of the class. None of them are going to the event because they're interested in it or because they have to for school, but maybe Adrien has been asked to play piano at it and Luca violin. Him just rocking up with his violin ready to go is kind of odd, to be honest, and maybe Marinette is going to see both of them play. However, I would assume Adrien's bodyguard would go with him for something like that. I'm sure there's a logical explanation behind this, but we just don't have enough information yet, but them going to Careers Day events would tie in with the episode synopsis. Marinette and Luca are already on Swan Island. This screenshot of Adrien shows the same lights in the background, so they're already on it when they arrive in the episode. And Marinette and Luca get, presumably, Andre's ice cream. And now I've calmed down after the first trailer came out. I think the pink on the bottom represents Marinette, the red Ladybug, and the green both Adrien and Chat Noir. Although, I don't know why Luca is eating it. Don't you know how this ice cream thing works, Luca? We've already seen what a Marinette and Luca ice cream looks like in the season 3 finale. Honestly, I never thought I'd get this emotional over ice cream, but here we are! I would assume Marinette and Luca walk to the end of Swan Island and then Adrien sits down, because there would be no way Marinette wouldn't notice him if they'd walked past him, and Luca is the one to spot Adrien, who is looking very depressed. Let's speculate as to why, because, you know, that's a fun thing to try and work out. My best guesses are that he's unsure of either his future as Chat Noir. Rocketeer, the previous episode, saw Adrien questioning Ladybug and he was pretty sad about it. My other theory is that he's thinking about his future in terms of modelling and his career. Just because he's been allowed to go to school doesn't mean he'll be allowed to go to university. It's a very different place. So Marinette and Luca go over and he takes her hand. And okay, I know a lot of people in the show have a habit of holding hands and it's not romantic. Adrien even does it with Marinette sometimes, like in Godzilla, but it's only usually for emergencies. Maybe it's just a French thing, but I do find it odd. Like if you said to Marinette, let's go and talk to Adrien, do you think she'd say no? But honestly, Luca, I could not help the person I loved confess their feelings to someone else. No way. I mean, in Crocodile, it did seem that Luca had resolved to get over Marinette, and that was episode 12, this is episode 18. But I don't know, I feel if this was me, I would still be hurt by that. I mean, I know Marinette's not making him do that. Luca is doing this because he wants to, and we don't know how much time has passed between episode 12 and episode 18, but it's a big move and I could never do this. Luca is a much better person than me. So I would assume they talk to Adrian about why he's so sad, and then Luca decides to play some violin for them because why not? I think at this point we should look up the symbolism of swans. Grace, beauty, love, trust. Don't get me started on trust. And loyalty. It's also about inner beauty, self-love, and 2 swans represent soulmates. That's nice, apart from the trust part. Everyone has trust issues in this show. Marinette, Adrian, me, you. It's never ending. I would assume that at the same time this is happening, Alec is being forced into this wig. Again, we can see the lights in the background, so he's on Swan Island at whatever event Marinette and Luca were attending, but I'm not 100% convinced Adrian was at the same place. Also, by the time the Akuma attack happens, it appears to be sunset, and it looks like it's getting darker when Adrian arrives on Swan Island, so maybe he attended the event alone and was there for most of the day before he got to Swan Island and Marinette and Luca found him. For whatever reason, Alex says no to the wig and gets akumatized, and Marinette, Adrian and Luca spring into action, and I don't know what excuse all 3 of them are going to have to separate, but they manage it, and Ladybug and Chat Noir start fighting Wishmaker but avoid him pretty easily and escape onto the roof to get away from him, but he ends up joining them. However, at some point Wishmaker manages to hit a person with his stars, which turns them into a robot. Ladybug wraps a robot up with her yo-yo and Chat Noir hits it with his baton to down them, and after the lucky charm we also see something similar happen again, but they turn into a dinosaur. So the synopsis says turn a childhood dream into nightmare, and I feel like it means it will be a nightmare for Ladybug and Chat Noir, not necessarily the person whose dream it is, but I also think that depends on the dream. We've only really been given 2 examples of this. It's not ultimately clear when Ladybug does her lucky charm, if it's before or after she gives Luca the snake Miraculous, but I think it's maybe what makes Chat Noir sad. So in Desperada, Adrian is well aware that Ladybug gives Luca the snake Miraculous after him, and since Chat Noir takes it from Luca in Miracle Queen, he also knows that Shadow Daddy knows who Luca is. After Adrian's reaction in Rocketeer to Nino and Alia knowing each other's identities, Adrian definitely wouldn't agree with Luca using the Miraculous. He's very much in the camp of no one should know our identities because that's what Ladybug has been telling him. But he can't confront Ladybug about it because Ladybug would be suspicious as to how Chat Noir found out. Nina or Alia would have to have told him. I think this maybe could explain why he looks so sad and pretty much just gives up before Wishmaker hits him with the star. However, Luca has done second chance before that happened, so he rewinds and saves him. However, that means for a second everyone will see Chat Noir's dream, but only Luca will remember. First, before we talk about Luca, let's talk about what the dream can be. I'm not really sure, but a lot of people are saying it will be about Ladybug, but I'm not sure about that either. The synopsis says childhood dream, and yes, while Adrian is a child, to me when someone says childhood dream, they mean like from when you were under the age of 8. If someone asked me what I wanted to be when I was like 7, I would have said I wanted to be Lady Penelope from the Thunderbirds. If you asked me the same thing when I was Adrian's age, I would have said I wanted to meet Benedict Cumberbatch. So, you know, they're very different things. So yes, 14 is still a child, but the robot and dinosaur make these sound like very young childhood dreams. I agree that Adrian's dream right now is probably find out who Ladybug is, get his mum back, have more freedom, but I don't think we'll see that in his dream. What I'm hoping we'll see is something that will give us more information on Adrian as a child. We don't know much about his childhood other than he had one and he was friends with Chloe at the time. That's it. So now let's talk about Luca. Adrian in Desperada remembered all of the attempts at saving Ladybug, but she didn't. So Luca will remember what Chat Noir turns into, but no one else will after the second chance happens. Now, like I said, we all know very little about Adrian's past, so while Luca might remember what he sees, it might not even be something that helpful in working out Chat Noir's identity. But this is Miraculous, so it probably will matter, although I am a little bit sceptical about Luca finding out. Don't get me wrong, I quite like the idea of him knowing, but Luca doesn't really have a big presence in the show right now. Alia is listed as a main character, and she is a well-known character, has been important for a while, and she also gets a lot of screen time. Luca, not so much. He doesn't have that much screen time, however we are missing episodes 5, 9, 15 and 16, so maybe he could appear in them to up the screen time. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but right now it does seem a little bit odd. The other piece of evidence we have to back this up is this picture which shows Alia, Alex and Luca. Alia obviously already knows who Ladybug is, and Alex will know eventually. Again, I doubt it's this season as Alex isn't really that important in the show yet. This picture does imply in the most subtle of ways that Luca will also find out someone's identity. Could he find out Ladybug's identity? Maybe. He did look kind of suspicious in Crocodile when Ladybug said they'll talk later and then corrected herself, but there's no evidence in this trailer to suggest that Luca finds out Ladybug's identity. I think if he's going to find out someone's identity and I had to pick between them, I'd like for him to find out Chat Noir's identity. Adrien wouldn't ever have to know that Luca knows, but Luca could still be there for him and support him, which I think would be quite sweet to see, and not because I kind of low-key ship Luca and Adrien together. I want the love square to happen more than anything, but you cannot deny Luca and Adrien together. That'd be kind of cute, you know? I know a lot of you in the comments said the Miraculous Ladybug would wipe Luca's memory, but I don't think it would. A Miraculous Ladybug only wipes memories if the Akuma directly affects memories, like in Oblivio. Luca should remember all of this. Adrien still remembers all of the previous attempts at saving Ladybug in Desperado, so there's no reason why Luca shouldn't remember any of this. The final shot we have is this, which I assume is after the Akuma battle, and they've won. However, Viperion is in the middle, and I can't help but feel it signifies Ladybug and Chat Noir growing further apart. This episode is going to hurt me so much, but I just want Adrien to be okay. I don't want him to be upset. But I am also expecting some Adrienette in this episode. Like, please, come on, this episode is going to emotionally traumatise me. At least give me some love square moments to soften the blow, you know? Wishmaker will air tomorrow on Disney Channel USA. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the episode, and I'll see you in the next one.